Imagine if I told you there is one ancient movement that can dramatically improve your balance, strengthen your legs, protect your joints, and even keep your mind sharp. And yet it requires no equipment, no gym, and can be done in your living room in just a few minutes a day. Most people over 50 don't even know this exercise exists, but I've seen it transform the lives of my patients again and again. It's called the horse stance. And doctors like myself are amazed by how such a simple posture can have such profound effects on the aging body. Welcome back to a new video on Senior Secrets TV, where we bring you science-backed health tips designed specifically for seniors who want to stay strong, independent, and full of energy. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button because every week we share doctor-approved strategies to help you live longer, healthier, and happier. Now, let's talk about the horse stance. At first glance, it may look simple. You stand with your feet wide apart, bend your knees slightly, and hold that position. But don't be fooled. This ancient exercise, deeply rooted in martial arts and traditional medicine, is one of the most effective movements for seniors looking to improve both physical and mental resilience. Why is balance so critical after 50? Because falls are the leading cause of serious injuries in older adults. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 Americans over 60 falls every year, and many of those falls result in broken hips, head trauma, or long-term disability. Balance is not just about preventing a stumble. It's about protecting your independence, your mobility, and even your lifespan. That's why doctors now emphasize daily balance training as one of the most powerful anti-aging tools available. The horse stance directly targets the key systems that decline with age. First, it strengthens the quadriceps, glutes, and core muscles, which are essential for stability. Weak legs and a weak core are the #1 contributors to imbalance in seniors. Second, it engages the deep stabilizer muscles that are rarely activated in daily activities, but are critical for maintaining posture and preventing falls. Third, it trains your nervous system by sharpening your proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. This is like upgrading the body's internal GPS, making you more aware of each movement and reducing your risk of missteps. But the benefits don't stop there. Holding the horse stance increases circulation, improves joint lubrication, and gently stresses the bones in a way that stimulates bone density. This is especially important for preventing osteoporosis, a silent condition that affects millions of older adults. Unlike high-impact exercises, which can strain fragile joints, the horse stance builds bone strength safely and progressively. Perhaps even more fascinating is the effect this posture has on the brain. When you hold the stance, your body releases neurotransmitters that calm the nervous system and sharpen focus. Studies in older adults have shown that balance-based training reduces the risk of cognitive decline by enhancing communication between the body and the brain. In simple terms, the horse stance doesn't just make you physically steadier, it makes you mentally sharper. And the beauty of it all, you don't need special equipment, fancy shoes, or a gym membership. You only need your body, a flat surface, and a willingness to practice for just a few minutes each day. So, how exactly should you perform the horse stance? Let me guide you through it as if you were my patient in the clinic. Start by standing tall with your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart. Imagine you're preparing to sit on a very low stool, but you're not going to sit all the way down. Slowly bend your knees, keeping them aligned with your toes, and lower your hips slightly, as if you're sliding into a half-seated position. Keep your back straight, chest lifted, and shoulders relaxed. Your arms can rest gently at your sides, on your hips, or extended forward for balance. Now hold this position, breathing deeply and steadily. Congratulations! You are in the horse stance. At first, most people can only hold it for 15 to 30 seconds before their legs begin to tremble. That's completely normal. Those small shakes are not a sign of weakness. They are proof that your muscles are working, your stabilizers are firing, and your body is adapting. Over time, you'll notice you can hold it longer. 45 seconds, 1 minute, even 2 or 3 minutes. For seniors, I recommend starting with short holds, 15 seconds, repeated 3 times, and gradually building up as your strength improves. Safety is key, especially for those over 50. If you have arthritis or knee pain, don't bend too deeply. Keep the angle comfortable and use a chair or countertop nearby for support if needed. You should feel your muscles working, but you should never feel sharp pain. If your knees travel too far forward or your back begins to round, that's a sign you need to adjust your stance. Remember, proper form is more important than depth. Now here's something most people don't realize. The horse stance is not just a leg exercise. It's a full-body integration. When you engage your core and keep your spine straight, you are training the muscles that protect your lower back. When you focus on your breath, you're practicing a form of mindfulness that calms the nervous system. This combination of strength, stability, and focus is why martial artists have used the horse stance for centuries and why it is so effective for seniors today. You may be asking, Doctor, how can just standing still in this position possibly improve my balance? The answer is subtle but powerful. Balance isn't only about moving, it's about controlling stillness. The horse stance forces your body to make hundreds of tiny adjustments to stay upright. Your ankles, knees, hips, and spine are constantly communicating with your brain, refining your posture with every breath. Over time, this trains your body to react more quickly to slips or missteps in daily life, drastically lowering your risk of falling. In addition, the horse stance builds what I call functional strength, the kind of strength you use every day. Rising from a chair, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even catching yourself when you stumble, all rely on strong thighs, glutes, and core muscles. Unlike machines at the gym, which isolate muscles in unnatural ways, the horse stance strengthens the body in the exact patterns you need to stay independent and mobile as you age. And here's something truly exciting. Holding the horse stance, even for a few minutes, can improve circulation to your legs. Many seniors struggle with swelling, varicose veins, or poor blood flow due to long periods of sitting. This posture encourages venous return, the flow of blood back to the heart, which can reduce swelling and promote healthier circulation. When done regularly, it can even help lower blood pressure and improve cardiovascular endurance. But I don't just want you to think of this as exercise. Think of it as a ritual. When you take those few minutes each morning or evening to step into the horse stance, you're doing more than strengthening your body. You're centering your mind, grounding your energy, and reconnecting with yourself. For many seniors, this practice becomes not just physical therapy, but a form of meditation, a way to calm anxiety, clear the mind, and start the day with focus. Now, let's take a moment to talk about the science. You don't just need to take my word for it. Decades of research confirm the critical role of balance training in healthy aging. A landmark study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine followed thousands of adults over 50 and found that those who could hold a one-leg stance for at least 10 seconds had significantly lower risk of death in the following decade compared to those who couldn't. In other words, the ability to control your body in space isn't just about preventing falls. It's a direct marker of how well your body and brain are aging. Balance training has also been shown to reduce the incidence of falls by up to 40% in seniors. Think about that. Nearly half of falls could be prevented simply by practicing stability. And since falls are the #1 cause of hospitalizations and fractures in older adults, this is one of the most powerful things you can do to protect your health. The horse stance, in particular, is an exercise that combines both static and dynamic elements. Unlike a simple standing pose, it engages multiple, large muscle groups at once, requiring constant micro-adjustments that challenge your nervous system. This is why it's often called a neural exercise as much as a muscular one. You're not just building strength in your legs, you're training your brain to communicate better and more efficiently with your body. And in seniors, this brain-body connection often begins to slow down. The horse stance is one of the best ways to keep it sharp. I've seen this in my own patients. One woman in her early 70s came to me after suffering a minor fall. She was terrified of losing her independence, worried that one more stumble could mean the end of living alone. I taught her the horse stance as part of her rehabilitation. At first, she could barely last 10 seconds without reaching for support. But with persistence, she built up to 2 minutes. Over the course of 6 months, she regained confidence in her movements, stopped relying on her cane in dojos, and even started gardening again. She told me, "Doctor, I feel like I've got my life back." Another patient, a man in his late 60s, struggled with knee pain from years of arthritis. Most exercises aggravated his joints, but the horse stance allowed him to strengthen his muscles without impact. Within 3 months, his pain decreased, his stability improved, and he was able to walk longer distances without discomfort. His cardiologist later noted improvements in his blood pressure too. That's the beauty of this practice. It ripples through every system of the body. But the story doesn't end there. Let's talk about longevity. We often think of aging as inevitable decline, but research tells a different story. The difference between those who age with vitality and those who age with frailty is not luck, it's lifestyle. Seniors who maintain balance and strength live longer, yes, but they also live better. They retain independence, avoid nursing homes, and continue doing the things they love. Think about it, the ability to rise from a chair without assistance, to climb a set of stairs, to carry groceries, or to play with grandchildren. These may sound like simple tasks, but they are the very foundation of independence. Lose them, and quality of life declines rapidly. Maintain them, and you extend not just your years, but your freedom. And that's exactly what the horse stance helps preserve. There is also growing evidence that balance training impacts the brain itself. MRI studies have shown that older adults who engage in balance exercises show increased gray matter in regions linked to coordination and memory. This suggests that daily practice may actually protect against cognitive decline, including conditions like dementia. So when you step into the horse stance, you're not just training your legs, you're literally exercising your brain. And here's what makes it so powerful. The horse stance is scalable. Whether you're 55 or 85, whether you're a beginner or more advanced, you can adapt the posture to your own level. Beginners can hold for short intervals, using a chair for support. Intermediate practitioners can deepen their stance, challenging their endurance. Advanced seniors can extend holds for several minutes, combining the stance with deep breathing or arm movements to add complexity. This adaptability means you can grow with the exercise, making it a lifelong tool rather than a temporary fix. One of the hidden dangers of aging is something many seniors don't feel until it's too late: bone loss. Osteoporosis affects millions of adults over 50, especially women, and it makes bones fragile and prone to fractures. The tragedy is that for many, the first sign of osteoporosis is a broken bone after a minor fall. That's why prevention is critical. Weight-bearing exercises, movements that place gentle stress on the bones, are the most effective way to slow or even reverse bone density loss. The horse stance is a perfect example of safe, weight-bearing activity. When you bend your knees and hold your body in position, you create a gentle downward force on your hips, thighs, and spine. This stimulates the bone cells called osteoblasts to lay down new bone tissue, making your skeleton stronger over time. Unlike high-impact activities, which may risk injury in older adults, the horse stance delivers the benefits of bone strengthening without the pounding on your joints. That means you can protect your bones, even if running or jumping is no longer an option. Now let's talk about circulation. Seniors often struggle with sluggish blood flow in the legs due to years of sitting or conditions like varicose veins. Poor circulation can lead to swelling, discomfort, and even more serious complications such as blood clots. The isometric contraction of muscles in the horse stance acts like a pump, squeezing blood vessels and encouraging blood to move back toward the heart. At the same time, it helps oxygen-rich blood reach the muscles more effectively. This improved circulation not only reduces swelling, but also brings vital nutrients to the tissues, accelerating recovery and enhancing overall vitality. Breathing is another underestimated benefit. When you hold the horse stance, you naturally deepen your breath to maintain focus and control. This strengthens the diaphragm and improves lung capacity, which is especially valuable for older adults. Deep rhythmic breathing increases oxygen delivery to the brain and body, reduces stress hormones like cortisol, and enhances mental clarity. In fact, combining the horse stance with mindful breathing turns the practice into a form of moving meditation, strengthening not only the body, but also calming the mind. Digestion may also benefit indirectly. Gentle core engagement and improved circulation can stimulate the digestive organs, reducing bloating and improving regularity. Many seniors who practice the stance daily report fewer digestive complaints, more energy after meals, and less reliance on medications for common issues like constipation. This may seem surprising for a simple posture, but remember, the body works as an integrated system. Strengthen one part, and the benefits cascade throughout the rest. But perhaps the most powerful aspect of the horse stance is not physical at all. It's symbolic. When you lower yourself into this grounded, rooted position, you are reconnecting with stability in a literal and metaphorical sense. Life after 50 can sometimes feel uncertain, with changes in health, career, or family dynamics. But in the horse stance, you practice finding strength and stillness in the middle of discomfort. You prove to yourself that you can endure, that you can hold steady, that you can remain centered even when your muscles tremble. Over time, this practice becomes more than exercise. It becomes a ritual of resilience. Each morning when you step into the stance, you are reminding yourself that you are strong, capable, and unshaken by the challenges of age. This mindset carries into the rest of your day, giving you confidence when walking on uneven ground, energy to play with grandchildren, or courage to try new activities you once thought were out of reach. And here's something fascinating. Many cultures that emphasize balance and posture exercises, like in East Asia, have populations that remain active and independent well into their 80s and 90s. Their secret is not complicated gyms or machines. It's simple daily rituals, done consistently, that keep the body sharp and the spirit unbroken. The horse stance is one of those timeless secrets, now backed by modern science. When we talk about longevity, most people imagine expensive supplements, advanced medications, or cutting-edge medical procedures. But science continues to point to something much simpler: consistent daily movement. In fact, research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors who performed just 10 minutes of balance and strength-focused postures every day had significantly lower risks of falls, fractures, and hospitalizations over a 5-year period. 10 minutes a day, that's all it took to transform their health outcomes. The horse stance fits perfectly into this category. One study even suggested that the ability to maintain balance for more than 10 seconds in older adults correlated strongly with life expectancy. Think about that. Something as simple as standing steady for a short period of time could predict how long you live. Why? Because balance is not just about muscles. It reflects the health of your nervous system, your brain, and your inner ear. When those systems are strong, your body is better protected from the accidents and declines that cut life short. The horse stance trains all of those systems at once. Let me share a story that illustrates this power. A 68-year-old patient of mine, let's call her Linda, came to me after suffering a minor fall that shook her confidence. She was terrified of going out alone, afraid that another stumble would land her in the hospital. I introduced her to the horse stance, starting with just 15 seconds a day. In the beginning, she trembled, doubted herself, and felt frustrated. But she kept at it. Slowly, she built strength, extending her time to 30 seconds, then a minute, and eventually 3 minutes, without wavering. 6 months later, Linda told me she not only felt steadier on her feet, but she also regained the confidence to walk her dog every morning. That small posture gave her life back. Another gentleman, 72 years old, used the horse stance as part of his recovery from knee pain. Traditional exercises were too hard on his joints, but this posture allowed him to strengthen the muscles around his knees without further damage. He reported less pain, more mobility, and greater confidence in climbing stairs. These are not isolated cases. They are real examples of how one simple movement, done daily, can restore independence and dignity in later years. And here is something I always tell my patients. It is never too late to start. You don't need to be fit, flexible, or experienced. Whether you are 50, 60, or 80, the horse stance meets you where you are. You can start with a wall nearby for support. You can adjust the depth of your bend. You can go at your own pace. Progress is not measured in perfection. It is measured in consistency. Now imagine yourself 6 months from now. Imagine lowering into that stance, holding steady, breathing deeply, and feeling powerful. Imagine noticing that you no longer feel as stiff when you wake up, that you can bend down to tie your shoes without losing balance, that your energy is higher, and that your steps feel lighter. Imagine hearing from your doctor that your bone density is holding strong, your blood pressure is improving, and your risk of falls has dropped dramatically. That future is possible, and it begins with a commitment of just a few minutes each day. So here is my challenge to you. Starting tomorrow morning, try the horse stance. Just 30 seconds. Feel your legs engage, your breath deepen, your spine align. Over time, increase your duration, maybe up to 2 or 3 minutes. If you make this a daily ritual, you are not just exercising, you are investing in balance, independence, and longevity. Welcome back once again to Senior Secrets TV. If this message resonated with you, don't just watch, take action. Subscribe now so you never miss these doctor-backed secrets that could change your health after 50. Share this video with a friend or loved one who needs strength and confidence in their golden years. And remember, it's never too late to stand strong. Your health, your strength, your balance, they are in your hands, or more precisely, in your stance. As a doctor who has worked with seniors for decades, I want you to understand something very clearly. Prevention is the most powerful medicine you can ever take. Medications, surgeries, and hospital stays are reactive. They come into play after something has already gone wrong. But prevention, at Amicon, daily habits like the horse stance, can stop many problems before they even begin. Balance training prevents falls. Strength training prevents fractures. Deep breathing prevents hypertension and stress overload. These are outcomes no pill can give you. And here is another angle you may not have considered. When you practice the horse stance, you are not just working on muscles and bones. You are training your nervous system, the communication network that connects your brain to your body. Every second you hold the stance, tiny signals fire between your brain, your spinal cord, and your limbs, strengthening the efficiency of your motor control. This means that when you step off a curb, reach for a cabinet, or catch yourself from tripping, your brain can send the right signals faster and more effectively. This is why balance practice can literally save your life. Now, let's talk about breathing during the horse stance, because this is not just standing still. Deep, mindful breathing while holding this posture lowers stress hormones like cortisol and boosts oxygen delivery to your tissues. Seniors who integrate breathwork into balance exercises often report not only better physical stamina, but also mental clarity, reduced anxiety, and improved sleep quality. You may start this for your legs, but what you'll gain is whole body harmony. Let me share one last story, this time about a man named Harold, age 75. He had been diagnosed with early stage osteoporosis and told by his doctor to be very cautious. He feared exercise, thinking it would damage his fragile bones. But when he learned about the horse stance, he realized it was low impact, controlled, and safe. Within 3 months of daily practice, his balance scores improved dramatically, his posture straightened, and his confidence soared. He told me, "Doctor, for the first time in years, I feel like I can trust my body again." That's the gift this exercise gives. Trust in your own strength. Seniors often ask me, "Doctor, how long do I have to keep doing this?" My answer is simple. For as long as you want to keep walking, bending, reaching, and living independently. This is not a quick fix. It is a lifelong habit. The horse stance becomes part of your daily rhythm, just like brushing your teeth or drinking water. The reward is not only a stronger body, but also a sharper mind and a longer, more vibrant life. So I urge you, don't wait for a fall. Don't wait for a fracture. Don't wait for the day you feel too weak to rise from a chair. Start now. Just a few minutes a day, your future self will thank you. And as we close this lesson here on Senior Secrets TV, remember that the small choices you make every day after 50 will decide your health in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. You don't need to buy expensive equipment. You don't need to go to the gym. You don't even need more than your own body weight and a little bit of space. The horse stance is accessible, effective, and timeless. So tomorrow morning, before you pick up your phone, before you sit at the breakfast table, give yourself 2 minutes to practice this ancient, powerful stance. Stand tall, bend your knees, plant your feet, breathe deeply, and feel your strength. You are not just exercising, you are rewiring your brain, strengthening your body, and reclaiming your independence. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found value here, don't forget to subscribe to Senior Secrets TV so you never miss another life-changing health strategy. Share this with someone you love, because balance and strength are gifts best given together. And always remember, it's never too late to stand stronger, live longer, and thrive after 50.